another January and another set of resolutions. What are we going to do this year, ladies, to ensure that the resolutions we pick this year actually last, that they are good resolutions that become part of our lifestyle so that we can continue to layer on and continually grow as humans? Something that would start my new year off so fantastically is if you just take a second, peek down. Are you subscribed? If you're not, hit the subscribe button. Become part of our super cool Older Gals gang, 1,000,000,000% free. And then we can meet every Wednesday and Saturday for girl time, and I would love that. January always feels like a great time to have a fresh start. It's a new year. It's a great time to just sort of reestablish what it is that we want to change in our life. What do we want to work towards? So sitting down, making a list, making a few goals, I think is a great idea. But make realistic goals. I think that is the number one mistake we make, is just picking crazy goals that are not realistic. So maybe they will last for a week or two, maybe the whole month of January, but the chances of them lasting and becoming part of our lifestyle are really minute. So by making our goals smaller and really working on making them part of our lifestyle, just as natural as breathing, then we can layer onto that. It doesn't have to be next January. It can be in 2 months. I mean, we don't have to only make goals in January. I make goals all year long. I'm always trying to look for what I need to improve, but I always do it in smaller increments, because if I try to do too much all at once, I just don't succeed. For example, I am a gym rat, so I do all year long go to the gym, love to exercise. So every January, the gym is packed. You cannot get into a class. You have to wait on the floor for a machine. The gym is packed all of January, and it drives those of us that are regulars crazy, because we know come February, it's going to be back to normal again. All those newbies that are there all of January are always gone in February. I have seen that year after year after year after year. It always happens. So let's say you're one of those people that just doesn't work out. You never have. But your doctor said you got to get to the gym. You got to start working out. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. 7 days a week. 3 hours every day, I'm gonna get to the gym. So maybe you'll do it for that first week. Maybe you'll do it all of January, but it's not gonna last. It will not be sustainable. You have to start slowly. Say, maybe I'm gonna go to the gym 1 or 2 times a week, and then maybe I'm gonna do a walk a couple of times a week. Ease into it slowly until it becomes a habit. I do think, because I just love working out so much, I just feel like how it makes you feel mentally is bigger than how it makes you feel physically. I just think it is the best thing, getting out there and doing anything physical. So I think that once you do establish it as a habit, you will want to layer on. If you do start going once a week, you might throw in another day, maybe in a couple of months. You might be like, you know what? I'm gonna go Monday and Friday. So you can slowly add it in, making it a habit, and then, you just keep growing like that until you're just feeling so fit, so mentally clear and fabulous that going to the gym is something that you really look forward to. And I think another important point to throw out there is on the days that you don't want to do it, let's say you don't want to go to the gym because you're like, I go to the gym, I spend an hour there, I'm so tired today, I'm just gonna blow it off. Don't blow it off. Go and say, I'm only gonna spend 10 minutes. Maybe I'm just gonna do 2 reps of 10 bicep curls and I'm leaving. And maybe you'll get there and you will stay longer, but even if you only go for 10 minutes, it's making it a habit that you do go to the gym. So on those days you don't wanna go anyway. So it just becomes a no-brainer. Monday at 10:45, you're at the gym. Just make it a habit. Don't ever make excuses. The excuse you can give yourself is, don't spend so much time there, but still get there. And pick your resolutions wisely. Take time to think about it. I'm a big advocate for journaling. Sit down with your journal. Be honest. It's just you and your journal. Nobody else around. You don't have to be defensive about, your personality flaws. Be honest. Write down what it is about you that could use a little work, and then just write them down. I like writing things down because when you look back, you're like, wow, that was a problem back then. It's like nothing now. So it is fun to write things down and then look back and see how you have improved. And then there's probably going to be a lot of things that you could write down. I could put pages of things that I want to improve about myself, but if I tried to do them all at once, I would be in the fetus position in bed crying my eyes out. So I pick one at a time, and then I just keep working on it. I never get to where I want to be, because once I kind of get better at one thing, I'm like, oh, but it could be even better if I do this. So it's a lifetime goal. I have been working on myself for an awful lot of years. So if you're thinking, Carolyn has a lot of work. I mean, just imagine what it was like 30 years ago. I've come a long way. And as you're working on yourself, give yourself a little grace. Don't be so hard on yourself if you can't get to where you want to be right away. Just keep at it. Every little improvement is better than no improvement. So just continue to work on it, and don't ever, ever, ever give up, because you will get there. And then once you get there, you can continue to work a little bit more. All little increments are going to make you better and better and better every day. What's the expression? Be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. And that's true, except we do have to be careful not to just sit back and expect God to wave his magic wand and make us better people. We do have to take a little responsibility and put in the hard work. I've heard people say, that is who I am, take it or leave it. And that's true to an extent. I mean, we do have our personalities, and we don't want to necessarily change who we are, but we can certainly enhance and tweak certain parts of our personality. For example, I have a mind that's all over the place. And that's not a bad thing. It means I'm creative. It means I have a lot of ideas. It means that I have a lot of interests. But the downside is that if I don't control my all over the placeness, I will never get anything done. And back in the day, trust me, that was the case. So I have just really slowly over the years learned how to improve that. I mean, lists are my best friend. I played little mind games with myself to make sure I get things accomplished during the day. And I think I've gotten to a point where I am very able to accomplish an awful lot during a day. It's never gonna be where I am just super concentrated. Oh, I do get super concentrated. That's another thing. I get so zeroed in on something, like I cannot break myself away. I will be like so concentrated, and I'll be telling my husband, please, you've got to grab me and pull me away. It's the only way I'll stop. So, you just have to work on certain aspects of your personality to embrace the good part of it, and then to sort of make it, controlled and better. Maybe I could just get on Adderall, but I don't want to. I know there are a lot, I think there's more people on Adderall that should be, but I know there are certainly people that works for them, and that's how they can do it. I just never wanted to go that route, so I just work really hard at figuring out how I can just really figure out ways to make myself very productive. Something that I have struggled with over the years is when people give you a critique, not to get your feelings hurt, not to get defensive, but just take a minute, listen to it, and sort of assess, is that really something that I do need to work on? That's when journaling comes in great. Write these things down, because just because someone criticizes you, it doesn't mean it's true. So maybe it's something that you just need to sort of think about for a second. If it's not true, dismiss it. If you hear it more than once, chances are it probably is true, and work on it. Don't get your panties in a bunch over feeling hurt that someone actually said something negative about you, just sort of take it for what it's worth. And if it's worth fixing, then try fixing it. A lot of times people will slide them in as a little joke. So just remember, anytime there's a joke, there's truth behind that joke, or it wouldn't be funny. So let's say, you're all planning a dinner party, and, we're like, okay, we're gonna meet at 6, and then someone says, but, make sure we tell Mary it's at 5:45 so she'll be there on time. That's someone telling you that you have a reputation for being late. So everyone laughs, and you're like, what's the big deal? I'm late. Well, being late is annoying to people, so maybe it's take a second, don't get offended by it, don't get your feelings hurt. Think about it and say, okay, what am I gonna do to make sure that I plan ahead enough so that I actually do get there on time? So our resolutions do not need to be huge, dramatic, life-changing situations. They can, and should be probably, just little tiny things, that we can add on to each other over and over and over again through our whole life. We'll never make it. We will never become perfect, but it's kind of fun trying to get there. I would say most of my resolutions are private. I keep them between me and my journal. But sometimes it helps to be accountable to people and share what your resolutions are. There is one that I have been telling everyone that is a really big resolution that I'm doing this year, because I need them to make sure that I am accountable to that. So there is a time and place for just keeping it private between you and your journal, between you and God, or sharing it with your husband, with your significant other, with your friends, and to make sure that they hold you accountable to sticking to it. And don't get offended when they say, hey, but you said you were going to do that or not going to do that, because you asked them for help. So don't get mad when they actually help you. So I wish you much, much success with any and all resolutions that you have for this upcoming year. I know you're gonna do great. Stick with it. Don't get discouraged, because you got this. Love you guys so much. Bye.